You know what? I knew that this caption would pull you into this episode today, and I'm glad you're here. Hey, you guys, welcome back to another week of the Restart Podcast. And listen, hey, I'm talking about something today that we all need in our life, that we want in our life, and that we probably don't get enough of in our life, right? And that is some good old fashioned sex. So I'm sure you guys know, if you've listened to any past episode of the Restart Podcast, you know that I was raised in a very religious home where the word sex was not spoken at all. In fact, I don't think I even heard the word sex until like my first boyfriend at age 17. My mother always used the terms of, don't go to bed with a man, don't lie down with a guy before marriage, but never the word sex, because I was raised to believe that sex is dirty. It's a sin. And it's definitely a sin if you do it before marriage. So I spent my whole entire childhood looking at sex as very shameful. And I was married at the age of 25. So during that 10-year marriage, and I'm sure once again, you guys have heard me speak on my prior marriage before of the domestic violence, the abuse, the alcoholism in that marriage. But the sex really sucked all throughout that marriage, if I'm being honest. And it wasn't until I got divorced and started dating again in my mid 30s that I started to understand and find out for myself what sex really, truly meant to me and what it's actually supposed to be, you know? So maybe a little TMI, but the first couple years of my marriage to my ex-husband was actually okay. I mean, there was alcoholism and there was, domestic violence and abuse from the start, but we actually had a lot of sex during that first couple years. And of course, we have produced two daughters from that marriage, but over time, the sex got worse and worse and less and less and less. And I won't go into all of the details about that, but it really got to the point where before I got divorced, we were only having sex about once every 8 to 9 months. Seriously. It was hardly ever. We slept in separate bedrooms. And of course, we had young kids at the time, but the alcoholism and the abuse kept us from being together like that. So my idea of sex was very skewed up until my divorce, which was around age 33. So after the divorce was final, I started dating again. And I can tell you, I've been in the dating scene for the last 10 years. I've never gotten remarried, don't want to, have no intention to. But there's some things that I've discovered about sex since that time, and I wanted to share them with you in this episode. So, number one is that, and again, I'm only speaking from a woman's perspective. So, if you're a grown man listening to this, try not to take offense to what I'm saying. Okay. Honestly, please, because I'm only speaking from my point of view. But the first thing I will say is that most men don't know what they're doing out here. A lot of men just see us women as sex objects. We are a means to an end for them. And our bodies are just the vessels to get them to that point. But what I found is a lot of guys don't really know how to please us sexually. They are going off what they saw on TV, from a porno, what their friends talked about with them, how they were raised to think of us women, but they don't really know how to handle us with love and care in the bedroom, right? Women require a different vibe when it comes to sex. A man can get naked, get a boner, get into a hole. I mean, for lack of a better word, right? Get into a hole somewhere, do a little thrusting, and get off. We women require affection, quality time. There's a certain energy and a vibe that a man must bring to the bed, right? You can't just hop in and, expect us to automatically be wet and go at it. You have to work us up. We are hormones. We are walking hormonal creatures. I've said that before, but our whole entire bodies run on our hormones. And most men don't know that. And because they don't know that, they don't know how to arouse us sexually to get us primed for the act itself. And I can tell you, I've been with men of all races and all ages, and there are very few that I can point back to and say, yes, this guy knew what he was doing. This guy actually made me feel loved and cherished and cared for and desired and wanted. And at the end of the day, that's what a woman wants in the bedroom. She wants to be made to feel that she is the only one the man wants and looks at and needs in his life, and basically the prize, the trophy, right? So when a man doesn't come at us like that from a sexual point of view, it makes us feel like we are just objects to him. And that was very surprising to me in the dating world, knowing that, man, like no one out here really knows what they're doing, even grown ass adult men, right? Number two, the second thing I've realized with sex is that it is very important, and I would say even essential, required, that we as women orgasm just about every time during sex. It's not just about the man. And I know we have been brainwashed to believe that we are just supposed to lie down, open our legs, and please the man. He is just supposed to shoot off his semen into us, and we are just supposed to accept what comes, whether that be a kid or not. It's all about pleasing him. But what if we shifted that mindset to, we are now the priority? It is really about us and our pleasure. How would our sex life change if we did that, if we thought that way? Because I'll tell you right now, if I can get myself off with a vibrator as a woman, what do I then need a man for, right? Especially if I'm done having kids and I know I'm not going to have any more. Why would I need a man? If I can get what I want from a vibrator, why do I want to get undressed and go through the work and the chore of having to please a man? I mean, I'm just being real, you know? And in all honesty, I can tell you a lot of women also think that way. But what if you went into every sexual episode with the mindset of, this is really about me, fool. It is about my pleasure, because guess what? My body needs release. My body needs to take the pressure off of it, because all I do is get up every day and tend to everyone else's needs. I take care of everything in the house, everything at my job, all the errands, all the groceries, all the kids, all the practices, all the chores. So I deserve to have some tension let out of me. What if we went into sex with that mindset versus, well, let me just please my husband. Let me just lie here and please my man and make sure that he's happy. And I'm not negating that. That's also very important. But you need to think about yourself first, ladies. You need to put your wants, your needs, and your desires first, because your body also needs that release and also needs that pressure taken off, right? So, number two, put yourself first. Think about your orgasm, your release. The third thing I would tell you is, what really shocked me in dating is that a lot of people, both men and women, tend to look at sex as a performance, right? It's all about, oh, how sexy can I be with this person? How hot can I look naked? How attractive can I be in my lingerie where he just wants to ravish me? And all of the man is thinking about is that carnal primal urge of let me just fuck the hell out of her. Let me see how fast I can bang her. Let me see how hard I can get, honestly, without being too vulgar, that's really the thing. And we need to stop looking at sex as performance based and look at it more as an act of intimacy. And that's the main thing that's missing in sex these days is intimacy, because sex and intimacy are not related. They are two different things. And whether you know it or not, your sexual pleasure a lot of time will come before you hit the bed. It starts outside of the bedroom in the energy that you share with your person, the laughter, the connection, the inside jokes, the quality time that you spend together. That's what makes the bedroom time even hotter, even sexier, even more passionate. And if you neglect that intimacy connection outside of the bedroom, not saying that you won't have sex, but I guarantee you, when you do hop onto the mattress with your person, whether it be your spouse or your lover, whoever it is, your friend with benefits, it's not going to feel right. It's going to feel rushed. It's going to feel like there's a little something missing, a void. And you're not going to be happy. You're not going to feel satisfied. Even if the end result does come, it won't feel the same because the connection wasn't built before y'all hopped into the bed. So make it a point to establish a personal, intimate relationship with your partner before sex. And I guarantee you, you will see a change in the act itself, because it won't be just an act anymore. It's going to be a connection on a deeper level. And I promise you, it'll be fire. It'll be totally bomb when y'all hop into the bed together. And the fourth thing I want to tell you, the fourth and final thing here is no matter your age, no matter if you're in your 20s and you're in the prime of your life, or you're in midlife, or you're past 50 and you're in that menopausal stage, I don't want you to see sex as shameful. There is nothing wrong with sex. God gave us the act, of course, to procreate and continue on the world's population, but we have been brainwashed as a society to look at it as this awful, sinful, dirty, grimy, shameful thing. And if people do that, that's just shame on you. That's just so bad. And I want you to know that there is nothing wrong with sex. Married, unmarried, single, dating, no matter where you're at what stage of your life, the body is meant to be pleasured. You deserve pleasure. You deserve to feel happy in your sex life. And I will tell you right now, I know of a lot of couples, especially a lot of married couples, who both people might be attractive. They might both be funny, successful, have great careers, be smart, be kind, do great things in their local towns. They might have a lot of friends, but they're not happy sexually. And you know why? Because they're not sexually compatible. They didn't work on that, and they didn't try to figure that out before they said, I do. And now they're still married, but they're stuck in a very sexless, loveless marriage because they didn't make sure and they didn't work on that aspect of their relationship and make sure that that person was going to be able to fulfill their needs, not one time, but consistently over and over again. And so now they feel unhappy. They feel discontented. They feel like something is missing because maybe they were like, well, let's wait until marriage to have sex. And then they realize, shit, huge mistake. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they went ahead and had sex, but because they didn't cultivate it and make sure to grow it, make sure to work on it, make sure to talk about it, make sure to express their feelings and their desires to each other. Either they're once like I was, where they only have sex maybe a couple times a year, or when they do have sex, it doesn't feel right because the intimacy was never created to begin with. So if you're single, make sure that you focus on sexual compatibility because it is a huge factor in your happiness and your longevity with that person. And also, don't look at sex as a bad thing, you guys. It is a normal part of us. Our bodies are beautiful and they're made to be pleasured. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of the Restart Podcast. If you enjoyed this, like us, rate us on the App Store, and share us with your friends and loved ones. Thank you so much for being here. Until next week, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Bye bye.